Welcome once again to the Ahern Video Podcast. Today I want to talk about driver recruiting and driver retention. I'm receiving literally hundreds of telephone calls and hundreds of emails asking for my advice on how to improve driver recruiting programs and driver retentions to capture additional capacity. And I'm very flattered that many of you would contact me, but I don't have any magic answer. I'm not the guru to the trucking industry. However, I can impart to you what a lot of our clients are doing, because every day I network with our clients. Every day we're redesigning, redeveloping driver programs with our clients to bring more substance to the program. Is there a driver capacity shortage? Of course there is. Is it going to get worse? Yes, it is. Do we have an aging driver population? Of course we do. Do the younger people want to drive a truck? Absolutely not. Now, with that stated, today you have to do things differently than you did 2 or 3 years ago. Today you have to do things differently than you did last year. The things that you say, the implication it may have has a direct bearing on whether you're going to not only recruit drivers, but keep the drivers. You need to start by redesigning the way your recruiters are compensated and paid, and the way your dispatch is compensated and paid. Recruiters historically have one primary function: to get a driver in the truck, period. The problem with that is, in some instances, that recruiter will say things that may not be fact. I'm not saying in all cases, but remember, their job is to get that person in the truck. And so consequently, you have to change the mindset of the recruiter. The recruiter's compensation should not be paid directly just for seating that truck. It should be tied into the retention of that driver over a 6-month to a year period. In reference to dispatch, you have to redesign their thought process. And you have to have operations and dispatch work simultaneously together. That dispatcher has to realize that that driver needs to be treated as a profit center. That driver is critical to the dispatchers continuing to have employment. So when a driver has a problem, the dispatcher's responsibility is to address the problem. If you have a shipper that's not allowing the driver to deliver the load and that driver has to wait, it's that dispatcher's responsibility to work with the shipper. But more importantly than that, dispatcher's compensation and bonus situation should be tied into retaining the drivers. Now that's step one. Step two is all about changing your processes. Today we're in a very digital age. You need to redo your website. Some of you have never redone your website since 1942, but you have to. You have to make it mobile friendly. Today most people use their smartphones as their computers. In reference to dealing with drivers, you need to communicate with them. Here's the statistics. 15% of the time you send an email, it's opened immediately or within the time frame necessary. 90% of the time you send a text message, it's almost instantaneously open. So communicate with your drivers by text messages and also by cell phone when necessary. If a driver has a problem, text them. If a driver's done a good job, text them. You've done a good job under difficult circumstances. You are really appreciated. And oh, by the way, there's a gift certificate that's going to be attached to your next paycheck. If that driver has a bonus opportunity, make sure that the family knows about it. Send them an email, send them a text message to the family. Let that family know that they appreciate that driver. It's very important that you recreate your brand. It's very important that all of your people in your organization know how important that driver is. I constantly hear where a driver complains about this, a driver complains about this, a driver complains about this. But then let's look at the other scenario. Do you want to be in Massachusetts when there's 82 inches of snow driving a truck? Do you want to be going down the highway in an 18-wheeler when it's 40 below zero with the wind chill? It's a very tough job. Trucking is the backbone of America. I've always said